we live? Are we live or what?
Live in effect.
Shit, son.
So oh wait, what is that? Which character was that though? There's a character that does that. That's a
you're thinking about The Wire.
Yes.
Shit.
Oh.
Shit.
That's awesome.
Oh man. But yo, are we actually live? Because I can let people know.
We can share.
Okay, cool. So whoever's listening right now or will be listening, you guys should go on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, wherever you can, because we're everywhere now, and listen to our other podcast called That's Canon. There's actually about 6 or 7 episodes, or sorry, issues is what we call them. There are about 6 of them out right now, and they're pretty dang hilarious.
Yeah.
I just had a chance to finally listen through to all of them because I missed a couple episodes actually in between, but
yeah.
Yeah, they're all pretty on point and funny and better than I thought they would be. So that in itself is just letting people know, hey, I wouldn't promote it if it wasn't good. So
So good.
it's pretty
Right
good.
on the back.
Yeah,
We have some pretty funny episodes.
yeah.
If anything,
the Superior Spider-Man one and the Coyotes one. Oh
yeah,
my
the
God.
Coyotes one is pretty brutal. I love that episode, but I'm also like, I kind of want the writer to, like, Sean Lewis to actually listen to it, but I'm also
I swear.
petrified of the idea of him listening to it because I'm like,
I show no mercy.
yeah, we go pretty hard on it. Like we're like,
no mercy.
Here's the problem with your stuff, Brian. If I put "and then," it ruins everything.
So
yeah.
the thing with like reviewing comic books or like anything really is that yes, my bias and my subjectivity is going to come into play.
Yeah.
And because by all means, it's not easy to write or even come up with an idea like that for
And
a
we
comic
admit
book.
that.
So we take that into account, but it doesn't mean we can't trash talk your writing or your. I mean, the art is impeccable. The writing is just very confusing. And if you guys really want to know what we're talking about, is it episode 6? Let me just.
It's the last one. It's the latest one. Yeah.
It's the latest episode.
Yeah.
I can actually check that right now because I was just listening to the Batman TMNT one, episode 6, Coyotes, and we just pretty much on That's Canon. We kind of just review the first volume of a run.
Yeah.
So like the first 4 to 6.
Oh, Toby, the first 4 to 6.
And yeah, I think first 4 to 6 issues of a comic book run.
Yeah.
And we reviewed some pretty interesting ones: Coyotes, Superior Spider-Man, Red Hood and the Outlaws, Batman and TMNT crossover, which is pretty dang interesting.
Yeah.
Moon Knight, Volume 1 of Moon Knight Lunatic, which is really good too. So anyway, y'all go check it out. That's canon.
I think one of my favorite ones to review was Chrononauts, but that's because I fucking love Chrononauts as a title.
I wasn't there for that one too.
I know, yeah, there was a few that you had to miss, but you know, there's like newborn family members and whatnot from what I remember. So I remember you being like, "Oh,
there was that," and that was the way I was going. I was in what's it called, California too, for like a couple weeks there too at some point. So yeah. So anyway, we're gonna start recording. It's funny because we recorded these so far like in advance that we haven't recorded in 2 months about now. I think it's been about that long, right? So I think we have about maybe 10 pre-recorded, if I'm not mistaken. And then we're going to start the next recordings in the next month are going to be our second season of That's Canon, which is pretty crazy to think that we actually already have that much content there. So
yeah, like season 1 is done.
Already,
which
I'm
is
excited.
Nuts.
And I think for next season, shout out David Crownson, we are going to review Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. And I will give my honest review of it. So hopefully it's a good one, David. Imagine.
I know, right?
No, it should be. I have read it already.
We did an interview with him. We talked to him. We're like buddy with him, and then we turn around. We're just like, and the comic sucks. Like, oh no.
And sit on it.
No, not at all.
No, I know.
He actually sent me hard copies of the first 2 issues. So shout out to David Crownson, man.
He sent them to you? You bought 2?
Yes, sir.
Or? Oh, yo, you.
I put some money towards it, but I mean, you know.
Yo,
it was just like, probably didn't have to, but
I didn't get hooked up.
I asked. All I did was ask, man.
I'm just saying.
But you said you always tell us to just ask.
I know. I'm always the one that's just
Why
like,
you send him an email?
Just send an email. Just
sending an email.
And then 2 seconds later, I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, listen, I put some money towards the cause. You know, it's supporting someone whose endeavor is It's his passion, and I kind of like that, like supporting people's passions, because I would hope people support mine eventually.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and he has another one coming out soon. I think it's Nightmare in Newark.
Yes.
It's like a zombie, I think, movie, comic book. So be on the lookout for that one as well.
Oh no, we had some buffering issues.
Issues?
We should get Kozio back on this on Geektastic.
Yeah, he has to come back soon. He definitely has to come back soon. Yeah, I hope I hope we didn't freeze for too long. I'm noticing that we're freezing. But it's because I have too many things running right now on the computer. I have you coming in the video, then we're also live streaming this episode, then we're also live streaming to Mixler, and then we're also recording it.
Does that happen often?
That's what I've been doing the last few weeks, and it seemed okay. But now it might just be like, oh, that's too much.
That's the pat on the back.
Yeah. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back.
So we'll see. Hopefully this all goes okay. If you guys are listening to this on the live stream on Facebook, and I apologize if it's getting choppy. I like reduced everything to the bare bones minimum. Yeah. So if anything, just listen to the Mixler. We were trying something new. I wanted to do full episodes on here, but I also don't want to do full episodes if it's not going to work. Like if it's going to get choppy like this, I don't want to tell people, "Hey, tune in," and then it's not working, because then that's 100% not worth it. But yeah, okay. So guys, we are here live, Geektastic Cypher. We're back. It's been a week, only 1 week off, right?
Yeah. If I remember right, it's 1 week.
Yeah, it's only been 1 week that we've been off.
What was our last episode?
2 weeks ago. What did we talk about? 2 weeks
ago? Was that
ago?
the Khalil episode?
Was that Khalil? No, we have one Khalil. Then we did one, just the three of us, and then we have this one.
Yeah.
So I wasn't here for the Khalil one. I was probably here for the last one then.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you guys are tuned in on the live stream, please let us know if it is being super choppy, because I can't tell. All I see is like Jaws D patting himself on the back and then like it not moving. So I'm assuming it's like frozen. Because he's been patting himself on the back for
a while. I could check on my phone.
Yeah, just turn your volume down. But yeah, go ahead and check. But yeah, so we're gonna start the show, guys. We are very happy to be back, and as our boy Toby said, live from T-Dot, we have another podcast. Hopefully you guys check it out. If anything, check out all our shows. FranklinArmstrong.com.
Yeah. It seems very choppy.
It is very choppy.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. I can try and adjust it, but
how choppy's choppy? Is
not
it
moving.
like
like not moving?
Oh, really? Okay,
like
so
we're mannequins in a store.
All right. See, it told me there's like 100% buffering issue now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm sorry, guys. Unfortunately, there's not really much I can do. We're just gonna have to. We're gonna have to bite down and keep going and
bite
hope.
On the
it's all
billet.
good. If you guys can't watch it live right now, just be on the lookout for when it's released, I guess.
Yeah, because I'm trying to get it to record, and I'm hoping that it's also still recording. Because I had it set to so many things, so many problems.
Oh no!
This is what happens when you don't do it for a week. The whole system goes, "Well, I'm mad at you.
Where have you been?
Why haven't you been around? Why haven't you cared for me?" It's like, I do care.
I remember the last episode we did, the Phoenix Force. It was for what's his name, Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
right.
And everyone just plowed through him very quickly.
Yeah, and then
because y'all didn't even y'all gave two craps about it.
I have such little respect for him that I use Harry Potter in the cloak.
And then when
you used Harry Potter like Solid Snake and a reflective camo. That's what you did.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I reread like his power scale, I was just like, oh, none of ours would have worked against him. He would have murdered us all. Like I read his powers, and I was just like, ooh, we didn't research this properly at all.
Like all I said was but the caveat I gave was I'm just going by the movie. What you see in the movie is what he does. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
He kept us in a box. It's like that first scene you see him just kind of swinging with the army and stuff, where whatever power you think he has in that moment, that's what you're going up against.
And I said specifically, I do not want to deal with the being of evil inside of all man that can be corrupt. Like this whole ethereal thing. I didn't want to do it. I really, really didn't want to do that.
Maybe Harry Potter would have survived. He is the boy who lived, after all. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I should have said Guts from Berserk because he just survives everything.
And shout out to the biggest Harry Potter fan out there, Mr. Wizzy Moon Chaser.
Yeah, true, eh?
Running with Wolf podcast, yeah. I know he started watching him recently, so.
Well, yeah, we were talking in the live feed. He was like, "Yo, it's this. You're saying it wrong."
I'm trying to reset our live stream. I'm hoping for the best now.
Oh no!
I know it like disconnected and cut out. But that doesn't make for great podcasting. Okay, let's start with Kang the Conqueror. Ladies and gentlemen, Phoenix Force, 4 characters to defeat 1 character, but it's not that simple. It's a nod to Sense8, if anything. It's a combination of 4 characters and their powers. You have to tap into each power separately. You can't use all 4 at the same time, and you have to use those 4 characters to take on one big bad, or sometimes a good. We haven't really done many goods yet, but I'm looking forward to making it some.
You did already. Batman.
Yeah,
you did the season finale. As the second episode. What the hell, man?
What's funny about I think what we've been doing so far is kind of thinking of them as individual characters versus one person who can tap into the mind of those characters.
Yeah,
when I
use their power.
And that's really the way we're supposed to be going about it.
Exactly. But we don't do that. We don't do that at all.
We haven't done that, but I think that's how we should be approaching it from now on, really.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's harder.
That's true. It is harder.
It's even harder.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So who are we going up against today?
Kang, the Conqueror. Not that makes any more sense to people, because even we had problems. Yeah, even we had problems trying to figure out who Kang was.
Oh, you mean Krang, right, from Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, that was a common joke in this whole thing. But yeah, if you guys know, if you guys are like deep heads when it comes to comic book stuff, Kang the Conqueror is one of those characters that is like, he's actually super insanely powerful. At one point, Black Bolt, to save his son, Black Bolt sends his son to Kang the Conqueror and leaves him with Kang, and as a deal, like makes some kind of deal, and then turns around and tries to reclaim his son.
So like a New Gods kind of thing.
Yeah,
from like DC.
Yeah, and then Kang gets mad, goes back in time to to before Black Bolt. He goes back in time to the original Inhumans, like the first Inhumans, and then starts to like destroy some shit. And then Black Bolt has to fall. It's crazy, but that's one of the things about Kang. Kang's like time travel is one of those crazy. Like he uses time travel like it's a stick on the street. Like it's just this thing he does. It's like, oh, this is easy. Meanwhile, all the others in the damn universe are having, the X-Men are still having repercussions from their time travel little history that they had recently, where they brought back the original X-Men brought the original X-Men into the future. Meanwhile, you have Kang running around just hopscotching through time like some big old weirdo, and ain't nobody give a damn. So
nobody. What about Adam Strange? I guess Adam Strange also causes issues.
Yeah. Oh, I met the guy. Who plays Adam Strange.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
How was that conversation?
I didn't talk to him about it. I didn't want to. Like, I know.
I'm surprised, man. How'd you resist?
Because we were out. We'd just seen the movie Mission Impossible 6.
Oh,
and I didn't want to fanboy too hard.
Yeah, you were mentioning that.
You went with them.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say you went with them.
Well, yeah. I'm that cool. I
Your
hung
best
out
buddies.
With yeah. Sean Seipels, Adam Strange. We just sat down, kicked back, watched some Tom Cruise crazy action, and then we went for cigars. No, I mean, it was kind of just, I bumped into him after the movie. We talked a little bit. I knew who he was. I acted like I didn't, which was even more awkward because at one point he sticks out his hands like, "Hey, I'm Sean," and I'm like, "No, you're Adam Strange." But I didn't say that to him. Obviously.
Good. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, because Montreal
you know how to act right.
Exactly. Montreal's known for not being a fanboy city, right?
Well, but that's because no one is French. No one knows anything.
Well, we're kind of assholes too. I find like I've noticed that sometimes at concerts we're just like, no, we're giving you no love, and we're just sitting there entertain us while we're just like arms crossed and just.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes we tend to be too cool for school, I find.
Yes, I agree with that. Montreal does
That's
have a
very
thing
true.
where we like to be too cool for school. We do,
I think that's our French little.
but then you can see that.
influence on us.
But you can definitely
Your
see.
show is so pedestrian.
Yeah.
Step it up.
But you can definitely see that sometimes we're not, because when Jennifer Aniston came to town,
Everyone was losing their mind.
everyone was posting pictures like every 2 seconds, like, "Oh my God, Jennifer Aniston's in Montreal. She's at Mandy's. She's here. She's there. She's everywhere." We get it. Why are you the Gazette?
Jennifer Aniston's buying expensive salads like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, I remember when they posted a picture in the Gazette like 2 days in a row of her, and I was like, Gazette, cover some real news, y'all. Like,
I remember.
Don't get me wrong, I love Jennifer Aniston and all, but why are we following her like stalkers on TMZ?
Apparently, when what was it? X-Men, not First Class, the second one. What was the second one again?
Ooh, I know what you're talking about.
X-Men.
I never remember the name. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
The second.
That's so funny that I don't remember the name actually.
Those movies weren't good. Let's admit we don't remember because we don't care.
So the second one, they're filming parts of it when they go to France. When they're in France, it's actually filmed in Montreal.
Of course, as always.
And like near the old port and stuff.
Yeah.
And so apparently a lot of the cast members, they were having lunch at like underneath my studio at on de Maisonneuve.
Yeah.
At this place called like Food DC or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we were walking out and they're like, "What? Hugh Jackman?
oh,
Halle
yeah.
Berry? What?
Yeah,
Having
right.
lunch?
Yeah,
What?"
yeah. Yeah, because
Oh, speaking of celebrity sightings,
Okay.
walking in front of my work on Friday or Thursday. Either way, I got to work early, like 8 o'clock in the morning, which is early for me. Locking up my bike outside, I look up again. It's freaking Dexter.
Michael C. Hall.
Yeah, him and his wife just literally going for a morning stroll, walking right by my work, and I was just like, "Have a great day, Michael." He's like, "You too," and just kept walking. It's like one of those moments where like I thought, do I ask for a picture? Do I take a picture? What do you do? And the only thing that came out was just to tell him to have a great day.
Good. That's good.
And it was just like, all right, sometimes that's really all it is, because I'm sure he blends in. He's not like
Yeah.
a very recognizable person. Like it took me like a double take to kind of realize it, but I also would have anyway, because I watch a lot of TV just like you.
Yeah.
But I think they're filming a Netflix film here actually, July and August.
I thought he was still in the UK because he was filming that Netflix series where he plays a British guy recently, or he started.
July.
He started
July
one
and
time.
August he's filming a movie with Boyd Holbrook, a Netflix movie.
Oh,
so he's
dope.
only here to the end of this month, and he's probably going back to film that. I think maybe, but.
I love the
Kinda
fact
cool.
that he as an American plays a Brit. I always find it funny when they do that. Because
About
Have you tried
time.
watching it?
sorry.
Have you tried watching the show? I think it's
Safe?
called Safe.
No, I haven't. Dude, I've been dying to watch it, and I keep asking my partner, like, hey, do you want to watch this? And she's always just like, And I'm like, damn it. So I gotta wait
I
for a
tried.
weekend when she's not. Oh, really? Okay, wait.
Well,
We never talked about Kang. we tangented
I know, we're gonna say
so hard. So hard.
We were
Well,
trying
that's
to,
what happens when we don't talk.
I know.
regularly.
I know. We tangented
we're
so
trying
hard.
to avoid Kang super hard.
I know.
Here. Trying to avoid him.
All right, let's get Kang over.
Okay,
Let's do it.
so let's jump into it, guys. Phoenix Force, and like Toby was saying, the idea here is not to use all four at the same time. We're trying to think of them as separate entities. You're one entity who can tap into the powers at.
You have a split personality, pretty much. Let's
Yeah.
put it that.
And then I'll give you guys the first one from Skinny, who is not here today, unfortunately, but he did send me his answer. I'm just going to pull it up real quick because I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll read that on air. I remember that he, oh, damn.
I was gonna say I was also thinking that we should put some ground rules. You can't just say a speedster. You can't just say like I feel like at some point we're always gonna run through the cycle of Wolverine, speedster,
Yeah,
Batman.
Oh, man, if you're telling me like...
especially when we say that we can use anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to think outside the box a little bit. I think I have some outside. Well, they're kind of outside the box because they're not really mainstream, but some of them are now. Anyway, we'll see.
Okay, so Skinny hit us with the first answer. Remember, this was Skinny's idea to go against Kang the Conqueror. Once again, that's Nathaniel Richards, who is like from Earth 6311 and is like a time traveler who has almost omnipotent powers in the sense that he just is like insanely intelligent. And what's the will he has?
Indomitable will.
Indomitable will. That you can, he really can't be defeated easily because he just has this sense about him that I will not fall. Kind of like every superhero, kind of like every boxing movie that you've ever seen where the boxer,
Rocky.
Yeah, he's like Rocky. He's just like, I'm not going down. It's just like, no, dude, you have brain damage and a broken jaw. Sit your ass down. But it's like, no, indomitable will. And then somehow he beats the Russian dude, and we're all like, that's normal. That makes sense. In any case, that's Kang.
That's fine.
And then he ends the Cold War.
Yeah.
Come on. That's the biggest point you forget about that movie. He ends the Cold War. He gives that beautiful speech, and then the walls come down. The end.
There
That's
you go.
funny.
So Kang will end the space wars or whatever.
So what's Skinny's selection here?
So Skinny's selection was Dr. Fate, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, and Captain Marvel. So I'll assume he was going very much for a mystical approach, because
Right.
Dr. Fate, Doctor Doom, and Doctor Strange are all mystics. Yeah, sorry.
Magic.
Yeah, they're all
Well,
magic
is
based.
Doom actually magic?
Doom is magic and science. He's like he's one of the, if anything, I would say he's one of the best balanced. But Fate and Strange are definitely pure magic.
Magic, right? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Not a bad selection. What was this fourth one?
And Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, fully mystical, magical. I think Kang is super powerless against that. I think a lot of superheroes are powerless, or villains are powerless against magic, really.
Yeah.
Magic is it's one of those things where it's kind of unfair.
I feel
sometimes.
like he picked magic and Captain Marvel because Kang really does have the time travel thing unlocked. So you're going to need, like, Doom can time travel.
Well, that's why I picked someone who could time travel too.
Okay.
Actually. I guess I'll go first then,
I'll
or
let
second.
you
Okay, so because he's a time traveler, I'm just gonna put Cable on my side. I'm gonna tap into Cable's ability to read minds and project his thoughts as well. He has telepathic illusion. He has a telepathic cloak, mind link, mind alter. I mean, this is Cable at his most powerful.
Okay.
All these powers I'm listing right now, and he obviously can time travel as well. And just to make it fun, I'm only going to use Cable for the time travel aspect. Okay, just because I know I can kind of defeat Kang with these other three as long as I just play my cards right. And again, he's a masterful tactician, so I needed someone who can do the same sort of thing. So I chose someone with the ability to manipulate probability, aka Domino.
Oh,
nice.
That is
Domino's,
a smart one.
Nice.
Domino's going to be on my side, so no matter what he goes for as far as tactics, whenever I feel like I'm cornered or anything like that, boom, tap into Domino's mind and just hopefully I'm able to manipulate the probability on time. And when it just comes down to sheer fighting, I'm going to go with Beast Boy. Just because, again, I can, use any animal I've ever encountered or seen. And he's kind of a martial arts expert. Later on, it's not something he's, earlier on in the Teen Titans that he's known for. And just as a backup, I'm going to give him his buddy, his teammate, Blue Beetle.
Okay.
Cool.
Blue Beetle has superhuman strength,
that.
superhuman agility, armor. He has those wings. He can fly. He's pretty much, if anything, as far as biological magic technology, he's got all that in that scarab. So again, he's a good balance of that kind of powers as well. So yeah, those are my four. I can tap into. I'm not sure how Beetle would work, seeing as his powers are not embedded inside. The scarab is.
Yeah,
his,
but he doesn't even.
Powers.
But you're talking about which Beetle? Remember we had this conversation last time.
I'm Jamie Reyes for sure.
Okay,
Talking about the newer one.
Yeah, because the other one had absolutely no powers. It would be like tapping into Batman. Like
right.
Yeah.
Jamie. I should have definitely said that before. Jamie Reyes is my Blue Beetle, the most powerful
version.
Oh,
sorry, Toby, you cut out. But yeah, the Jamie Reyes
I was
is the most powerful.
He's the most. Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You want to go, John? No. You sure you want to go last though?
I got nothing. Look up. I'm scrambling over here. I got nothing.
Okay, so mine's gonna be a little crazy because my time travel person is Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
Oh God.
Specifically because he's also an insane mad genius. As much as people like to think that Doc Brown isn't all that smart, he actually is very smart.
Yeah.
I have the comic book, that kind of prequel comic book that does the stories about how he came to be who he is and all the things that he went through and why he's so smart and why he's so talented and how he developed all his ideas. And when push comes to shove, he did do all these amazing things. So I think for my time travel, I'm going to take Doc Brown because he won't only be useful in time travel because, I mean, I'm tapping into his brain, but he also knows where the DeLorean is, and that's what we're going to use to time travel. Like, I'm not saying, like, because he's there, you know, he himself embodies time travel. But the fact that he knows where the DeLorean is and could take us into the DeLorean to time travel.
Well, do you want the DeLorean or do you want the big choo-choo?
I would rather the train because then I can carry more people because I have a team of 4.
Yeah.
But then again, remember, I'm one person who embodies this, so I only need the DeLorean. There you go.
Okay.
So
Not bad.
yeah, so I'm getting my DeLorean. Now, for my powerhouse, I need someone because one of the things about this fucker, oh my God, these people and their indomitable will, you need someone who's sarcastic but also has a strong will. Because if you go like serious indomitable will versus serious indomitable, you're just gonna get 2 hammerheads just hitting each other.
Right.
But I want
Are you talking Deadpool?
No, I want Guy Gardner.
Okay.
Because Guy Gardner has the will to wield a ring, but he's also like silly, but also crazy, and also, but has that rage. He can tap into that rage where he needs it. So I want to be able to like tap into that rage and like pull forward the power of a ring when I need it, so that I can like do things and be powerful and be amazing. And then whoa, you okay there, Tomes?
My bad.
Thank God no one can see this.
I know, eh?
No, it's true. No one can. You shut off the cam?
Yeah, I had to cut it off because it wasn't working.
Buffering too much.
Yeah,
That
unfortunately this week, but we'll figure it out for next time. Yeah. So Doc Brown, Guy Gardner.
And sorry for those listening. What happened is I tilted my laptop so the camera went.
And then 2 more characters that I want to use. I kind of want someone who is at the intellectual level that he's at. Which I really want to use Reed Richards, but I'm also afraid that Reed Richards.
What are you afraid of about?
Because Reed Richards sometimes like puts himself in bad situations. Like,
so could I say one thing though? We did use Reed Richards recently in the past 2. Remember Negative Zone? Who were we putting in a negative zone? I forget now. Someone was put in a negative zone, and I'm sure it's because Reed Richards was activated. So, saying.
I wanted to. Well, I used Franklin. I used his son last time because I used his son because his son can alter reality. That was how I used his son recently.
We gotta maybe start writing these down, whoever we choose, so we don't double up on superheroes and villains. Yeah.
Well, I know I used Black Panther last time.
Yeah.
For my intelligence, for my high intellect character.
Nice.
You already used Black Panther and Blue Marvel?
Yes. Yeah. I've used Black Panther and Blue Marvel already.
Your aces are done.
Yeah, those are some serious aces. I'm kind of regretting that now. I'm actually very much regretting that now. Because if I had a choice between Reed Richards and Blue Marvel, you're damn right I'd go with Blue Marvel over Reed Richards. God damn. Well, yeah, I guess poor man's white version of Blue Marvel. I'll take Reed Richards.
Why don't you just go full Psycho and bring Sentry in? How about that?
Oh my God, no. See, that's the thing, because like Sentry's such a crazy maniac and like so unbalanced. You know what? No.
Do it.
I know who I'm going to take.
End the world.
I'm taking Norman Osborn because Norman Osborn actually is a high intellect character. He's just also evil as fuck. But when it comes down to it, I need someone evil. So far on my team, I have evil in the form of Norman Osborn. I have rage slash will in the form of Guy Gardner, and I have Doc Brown, who is supposed to be a good guy. But when you think about it, he was throwing a teenager through time like it was nothing, and didn't actually really care about the consequences of time travel. So know,
I feel like
he's
he
a
doesn't
little
care
crazy
at all,
and
'cause
evil too.
He just leaves the DeLorean lying around, and
I
then
know.
Biff is able to jump in
Yeah,
there.
exactly. So my team is made up of evil people. That's what I'm saying right now. And my last
Hey, that's
person,
fine.
yeah, and
Your
my last
Suicide Squad.
Yeah. That's right. I'm going for some evil ass people. I'm okay with that now. Now that I'm really digging my
What's your
heels
fourth?
into this insanity plea. And then my fourth is to take on Kang. I think I do want to stick. Oh, Wiccan.
Which one's
Wiccan.
Wiccan is from Marvel. He's
whose son?
He's Scarlet Witch's kid, but not the real kids. Those are the imaginary kids she made up
Oh Lord.
that ended up existing. So Wiccan, Norman Osborn, Guy Gardner, and Doc Brown.
That's too much.
You
That's
poor
crazy.
bastard, Doc Brown.
No, Wiccan is a member of the Young Avengers. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
Wiccan is a mage. He has the magic on lock,
Wow.
Yes.
and he also understands the Inhumans, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's my team.
Wiccan.
I like how Jazzy was like just waiting, like I don't actually have anything, so you take your time. Please hurry up.
Just,
Take your
just
time,
throw
go
out
fast.
So
your first thoughts, man.
I am going to take the smack talking skills and the fighting skills and the smarts of Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond.
Oh, okay.
So to throw him
Okay,
off his
nice.
game and let him know, like, yo, I'm here to fight, but I can still smack talk you. It doesn't matter. And he just throws him out.
Interesting.
Take this seriously. I am taking this seriously. All right, so that's one. Taking that skill set. Next one, I am going to take probably the power of the intellect. No, I already did that already. Dang it. Dang, man, this is hot.
I know.
Hot.
We're already half hour in, and
Oh,
this
okay.
is the only thing we've done.
The time traveling of Bishop, because he's from the future.
Ooh, that's a better time travel.
Yeah.
The problem is that he always forgets. He tends to forget. Like something screws up. Something screws with his time travel, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know who I'm supposed to kill. I think I'm supposed to kill
Oh
this guy."
yeah, that's true.
He tends to
That is
forget.
a bad time travel. Like he's
No,
a
but
good
it's
time
not
traveler.
his fault. Like Nimrod's following. I should have took Nimrod instead. Time traveling of Nimrod.
Well,
You still have a chance. You still could say Nimrod.
I'll say Nimrod.
There you go.
you're pretty much doing this on the fly, so I think you're
Yeah.
allowed to take your answers back here.
Yeah. So Terry McGinnis, Nimrod. I need some magic in there. So Raven, get some Raven in there.
What about like sheer strength? Your team is a little on the weak side.
Dark Side?
Oh damn.
Well, then you don't need the other three.
Yo, seriously, Dark Side versus Kang. I feel like you already have a team right there.
No,
Yeah.
if I really wanted to be crazy, I would have said Dark Side, and he already answered that question. What was the thing that he's always looking for?
Oh, the
Death.
No, the answer to the universe.
death,
Dark
sorry.
Side's using for the equation.
Yeah, something equation. He's always so him with the equation.
Oh shit. Oh, fuck. I'm not even playing this game anymore. My team has left the planet because we are not getting with Dark Side and that equation. What is the name of that equation? The Dark Side spends.
The anti-life.
Yeah.
Yo.
Him with the anti-life equation.
I'm not messing with that.
Boom. All right. Here we
Yeah.
go, Kang. I already know everything. I already know you're gonna lose. If you're gonna go back in time, I'm already there because you're gonna lose. If you're gonna try forward to that, I'm already there because you're gonna lose.
Yo, the anti-life equation, isn't that the thing that essentially gives him all the power? Like once he, that's his ultimate goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives them the total control over the minds of any sentient being. So
Yeah, there you go.
pretty much.
That's
I
not
broke-
really fair.
I broke the game. Woo!
Yeah, that's a one and done. That's a one and done.
I broke the game.
I mean,
No more dark side though. When she uses it, it's over.
I know. Broke the game.
no more Dark
Broke the
Side.
game.
That's great. This guy just inserted the game genie.
Yeah.
Give me all the lives, all the stuff.
Shit. Okay, guys,
great.
that's our Phoenix Force. It's you pick 4 characters, you tap into their power sets, and you take on somebody. In some cases, you pick one character who just blows up the damn world. Some people just like to watch the world burn. Michael Caine.
She was
Alfred.
just a child. No, I can't even do it. I
Good
can't do it
God.
right.
But yeah. So that's the Phoenix Force. If you guys have ideas for characters we should take on, hit us up. If you guys have ideas of who you would want your 4 to be, let us know. If you were watching this on the Facebook and had to stop. Hopefully you switched over to frankelarmstrong.com/live, and we apologize for the interruption. We're going to be going into the next segment. This is View the Right Thing. Starting us off this week, Jaws D has a few things he wants to tell us about.
Yep. So, I had a lot of fun during this past weekend and all that kind of stuff. I guess I'll start off with this last week was Pride Week. Was it week or was it the month? I think it was week.
I think Pride Month was last month, but we supposedly we do Pride in Montreal for like the weekend, like the Pride Week next month.
Oh, okay.
I find it a little weird, but yeah, because Toby, you were in Toronto, and Toronto does Pride big. They do.
Yeah, it's this whole massive event. I don't remember when. I think it was June, if I'm not mistaken, or May.
June, yeah.
It was a little while ago.
So basically, a friend of mine invited me to a concert on the Saturday. Called Main Show Jet Set, and so there was 4 performances done. One was by Mia Martina, who is a drag queen that sings a bunch of pop songs. After her was Caleb Scott, who is actually a British singer from Britain. He was in Britain's Got Talent. I can't remember how far he actually got, and he was really good. And the crowd
is he the one that plays the piano?
He kind of sounds like Adam Levine a bit.
Okay, no, that's not what I'm thinking then.
I don't know. He doesn't play the piano. When he performed, he had a guy playing piano. No band. He said he wanted to do a little bit more, but he didn't have his whole band with him. And his songs were more, like kind of breakup-y, kind of like love songs. You know, it was like the DJ brought up the party levels up to like to 9, 10, and then Mia Martina, kept it up there, and he kind of brought it right down. But it was more like, like sentimental kind of stuff going on. He does a really good cover of Robin's "Dancing on My Own."
Oh, nice.
But
awesome track.
Yeah, but you get really teary eyed.
Yeah.
And then, no, that's Call Your Girlfriend.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And then the queen of Canadian R&B came out, Deborah Cox. And I wasn't paying attention to the card at all. So when I saw Deborah Cox, I thought it was just somebody else.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait a minute. I turned to my friend and I was like, just R&B, right? Deborah Cox from like Toronto.
DC?
Deborah Cox? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like,
Deb C repping them streets.
And she really tore it up.
Yeah.
Had her dancers came to like really destroy it and everything. She
I can
killed
only
it.
imagine. She's always been a very talented singer.
And she did some of her classics, but like nothing like straight like from J Records or Who Do You Love. Like it was more like stuff from the 2000s that you would hear on mainstream radio here and there, and stuff people would kind of know. Would know. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So there was that, and then the last person to anchor it all was Todrick Hall.
Okay.
And so he's a guy from Texas. He's been on RuPaul's Drag Race. He's also done he does albums on YouTube actually.
Oh, okay.
So the more recent one he did, I think it was a kind of reworking or his interpretation of The Wiz.
Oh, interesting.
And just doing his own music and stuff like that, kind of inspired by that, basically.
Does he layer his own vocals? Like he does a recording and...
Yeah.
That type of thing.
So he does his own... he did like a 90s melody, and it's like him 4 times. And almost like he's a boy band kind of thing. Yeah. And so one of the interesting things he did was during his performance, he was singing Disney songs, but then the songs that were playing behind it weren't the Disney songs. It was like 90s tracks.
Oh, cool.
So he was doing like
a mashup, sort of.
Yeah, a mashup. So it was like Aladdin's, his song where he's like 1 step ahead of the jump man, and then he's doing it with "This Is How We Do It."
Oh, crazy.
And then, it was it was.
Oh, I don't even know how you do that.
He worked it. He worked it really well. So like we're listening to the beginning.
You know what that reminds me of is that guy on YouTube.
Yes, I was just gonna say the one we talked about, the guy who sings "Rockstar" or "Hey Now You're an All-Star."
To everything.
But sings it to like every other song.
It's the best in the world. Oh, it's so good.
Worst. I hate
I
that
brought
dude.
that up before, and you guys were like, "You're terrible."
I hate him. I hate that is a YouTube channel. Anyways, tangenting so hard.
And he had like costume changes. He let his dancers speak, introduce themselves.
Oh, cool.
First time in Montreal, everyone was loving it. Deborah Cox, it was 10 years since she's been in Montreal. and Caleb Scott, it was his first time in Montreal. So all of them really loved it. The crowd gave him a lot of love.
Oh, cool.
And it was a very fun and really good crowd and really fun performance.
Oh, awesome.
I loved it a lot.
Nice.
It was really good.
I mean, Pride.
And it was a free show.
Oh, dope.
It was a free show.
That's
too.
a bonus. I feel like Pride shows that's the one that was all the way out east, though, right? At
It was like it was on Papineau Street.
Yeah.
The name of the park was
Faubourg.
yeah, Parc
Yeah,
des Faubourgs.
Parc des Faubourgs.
The TD stage.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Montreal. I mean, Pride parades and all those shows are always huge, major events. So, whoa,
Bless you.
that's what happened.
Bless
to me.
you.
Yeah, you guys could probably still hear it. My nasal passage is still blocked from a week and a half ago.
Yeah,
need
whenever
to
I get a
snort
cold,
them.
it takes weeks.
Yeah, man, I gotta snort that saline solution, clear out these nostrils. But anyways.
Get a neti potty.
I know. Yeah. I find it weird though. I'm so scared. Like, you know, you have to tilt your head
Yeah.
and then you're just pouring a solution and
Yeah.
it's supposed to just drain out the other side. But I'm like, what if it goes into my eyeballs?
It'll stay in your nasal cavity, but it definitely helps for a few hours. That's for sure.
I don't trust my nose. I don't trust it. Anyway, sorry.
So the other thing I'm going to talk about is People Watching Season 2.
Bong bong.
But it's not done yet. Obviously, it's like halfway
Yeah.
through or maybe less than that.
Well, if they're doing the 10 episodes, because they did 10 episodes in season 1, and then season 2, they had an Indiegogo to produce 10 more episodes.
Yeah.
But then they ended up on CBC, and I don't actually understand.
Well, it's weird because it's not on CBC TV. It's on the CBC new app
Yeah.
thingy website thing.
I'm
So-
okay with it.
yeah.
I mean, the episodes are small enough. They're like, I think the longest episode I saw was 13 minutes.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
It was 13 minutes basically. So basically,
So explain. I don't know what People Watching is.
all right. So
It's very good, man.
People Watching is basically like the short is it's a show about 20-something people in the year 20-something stuck in a seemingly endless limbo between school and adulthood, between nothing and friendship, and between expectations and reality. So it's you know it's like an existential show.
Yo, dude, it Toby.
For about about 20-somethings kind of lamenting.
Is it animated?
It's
Yeah.
animated, yeah.
The thing I find the most interesting is it's like, do you remember back in the day? Funny enough that CBC does it. Remember back in the day, there used to be that show. Speaking, and we were talking about Joey Jeremiah earlier. Remember Joey Jeremiah had another show that was called Gen X on CBC or CTV, one of the two, and it was all about like Gen Xers, like, you know, being adults now.
Right.
And he was like the epitome of the Canadian Gen X kid because he grew up on Degrassi, and then he was the star of this other show. This reminds me of that.
Yeah.
It's the idea of like, what's it all about? What's my life? Where am I going? And there's 2 episodes that were like I watched them and I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they hit you hard.
Yo, season 1, episode 3 about anxiety and depression. If you're ever trying to explain anxiety and depression to someone and you don't know how to, just sit them down and have them watch that episode.
What is what network? I'm going to say network, but what platform is this on?
So originally season 1 was on YouTube, but a part of Crack.com's YouTube channel, basically. So that's where it kind of started from. But Crack.com has kind of gone through a big restructuring, and
You can say it, they flopped.
sadly they flopped. Like it was
they
another
fired, like most of their staff.
Yeah, well, it was another one of those
like CISO.
Yeah, like a lot, like what was it called again? A bunch of like internet shows that had like all this stuff going, and then they couldn't sustain it anymore. So they were a part of that as well. So they had an Indiegogo campaign to fund another 10 episodes, and somehow CBC picked them up.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Because they're based out of Canada. They're based out of, I think, Toronto, if I remember right.
Well, good for them.
Yeah. So the first season I watched all of it. It was really, really good. A lot of heavy emotions in it. And one thing I want to point out is that in the last few episodes we've been talking about TV shows that are like 10 minutes long. What was it called?
Constantine.
Yeah,
5-minute episodes.
Like 5-minute episodes, 10-minute episodes, and they're not really moving things along very well, or it's taking a long time to get to the point and stuff.
Yeah.
And in these ones, it's just this is the point we're trying to make. Boom. This is the point we're trying to make with this episode. Boom. This is the
Well, it's very different because the thing about people watching is it's arcs. It's full arcs in one episode, whereas like all these other shows that we're talking about, they're trying to stretch out.
It's an episode but chopped up.
Yeah, that's so painful. So I really appreciated this version where it's like a full arc in one episode.
Yeah. So like most of their episodes are probably like 5 to 10 minutes long.
Yeah,
give or take.
Yeah.
And so season 2 basically starts off with a documentary about 2017,
which was super cool.
So you kind of saw all the characters from most of the characters from season 1 talking about 2017, and when you're watching it, you're like, oh, they're all just talking about stuff now, and then you find out that it's actually the future, their future. Well, they're living in their present, but it's the future, and it's probably 30 years later.
2067.
Yeah.
So 50 years.
Excuse me, 50 years later. And as the interviewer's talking to them, it's like, well, actually, we're using this technology that will use CGI to make you look younger. So people that you're talking about when you're your age in 2017 could relate to you a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And they look at themselves and like, oh my God, wow. Like they're super shocked. And then they cut to them what they look like now, and they're all in their like 50s or whatever, and you know, they look much older and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool. And you know, it's just more hopeful. It's like it's a hopeful
I
show.
think one of the most important parts of that episode was when they said, when people talk about World War II, you picture old people fighting the war because you can't relate to the idea that it was a child fighting a war.
Yeah, that was someone in your age. Someone that was in their 20s fighting that war.
Yeah, so that, and it's true. Like when I think of World War II, I don't think of someone. I mean, I'm past the age that I would have been in World War II.
Yeah,
like it really was young people. So it was a very interesting aspect and very interesting frame to put it in. So I thought that was well done.
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil the other episodes, but the second episode, I was like, oh, here comes the gut punch.
Yo, that was some emotional shit right
like
there.
They don't waste time. And one thing I like about this show is that if you pay attention to they don't waste the space.
No.
So if you look at all the little knickknacks and T-shirts, the background posters and stuff, it's always homaging something. It's always, you know, they just put in little visual gags here and there. And a lot of the times within the episode, they'll have visual stuff related to other characters or related to something that's within that episode.
Cool. Yeah.
You know, so like one thing I noticed that in the second episode, the guy's talking on the bench, and on the bench it says Martin, in memory of Martin. And I was like, I think that's something. I think that has to deal with something. And then that theme that person kind of comes up again and again and again.
Yeah.
In the other episodes as well. So I thought it was pretty cool.
That's interesting. That kind of reminds me of like a more somber. And when I say somber, I don't mean like boring. I mean just like a darker version of, I don't know, the Ricky Gervais show, where like they talk and like the animation kind of shows you more of what they're saying, kind of broadens what they're saying a bit more in that sense. I think you could do more in terms of showing more scope and range of emotion with animation you can with someone just in like a real, in real life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that same episode though, season 2, episode 2, one of the things, there is one particular moment that I will make very geeky right now. They talk about the idea of reconstructing like a movie or a person or a concept based solely on fragmented memories of people. And that the reason I thought that was super cool is in the Inhumans comic book, they actually did that recently. There's a character who dies. There's a character who dies, and her children use her, like, get stories about her from her friends and family and write the stories in a book. And one of the characters in the Inhumans comic book can bring anything. He's blind. His name's Reader, and anything he reads, he can bring to life. He can recreate. So he reads so they beg him, and he's just like, it's not a good idea for me to bring people back. And they're just like, please do it for us. So he reads the book and brings the mother back. But because it's not her, it's stories about her, she's different and fragmented. And actually, she can't control her powers. And like, it's very interesting. So the fact that they tackled that in that 10-minute episode was very interesting to me, because it made me immediately think of that comic book issue.
Which came first? Comic book, right?
Yes, because season 2 of their show only just recently. Yeah. But still, I mean, I don't think one influenced the other. I just think it's just random by chance that.
Parallel thinking. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely recommend it to everybody to go watch that show. I guess the easiest way to do it would be to go to cbc.ca/watch, basically to go see that. And then season 1 and season 2 are right there, and you can plow through them because they're not that long at all. And the last thing I have is YouTube Shenmue fan fight.
Dope.
So one of our buddies, Fred Nguyen, did a really awesome fan movie about Shenmue because the re-release, remaster of Shenmue 1 and 2 just came out on Tuesday. So this is the dream of a lot of fans out there to get this game back because you weren't able to get it. You weren't able to play it except on Dreamcast and Xbox. So the fact that it's back, the fact that Shenmue 3 is going to happen and is coming out and is being worked on right now, everyone's really elated right now. So basically he created a fight between Ryo, the main character, and Lan Di, who's he's dressed in more of like Chinese garb and stuff like that,
traditional,
and they have like this cool fight on a rooftop basically.
Cool.
So I want to like get people to watch that. It's basically called Ryo versus Lan Di, a Shenmue fan fight scene, and it's pretty cool. It's really, really good, and like just to get the good vibes of that game coming out, the new game and the re-release coming out.
It'll be up on the Facebook. We'll post it up right after the episode. People can check it out, and I'll put the link in the episode once we post the episode, so you guys can check it out. Just hit up franklinarmstrong.com if you're listening to this on one of the other sources. Toby, what's good, homie?
So the one thing I did want to point out that I watched, and I'll give a brief little thing into it, is this Netflix. I've been trying to keep up with their originals. They when they first started making these originals, they were just pumping them out, and I felt the quality was really low in terms of script and just the time they take into making these things. I feel like they rushed them. But they recently adapted a YA novel called "To All the Boys I Loved Before."
Oh yeah, okay, I heard about that. People are very excited because of the timing. Like Asian Americans are blowing up, so people. That's really
part of why I wanted to bring this up quickly. Cool. That this was actually really well done, and they did not in the show at any point emphasize the fact that they're Asian.
Yeah,
you know, so they are Asian leads. All the girls in the family. So I'll give you a brief synopsis of the story. It's about a girl who she's again never really been in a relationship. I think she's about 16 or 17, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember her age now. Obviously, all her friends have had like 2-3 different boyfriends. You know how it is in high school. And but she's always been afraid of. She loves reading. She loves fantasy. She loves romance. Oh, sorry, I'm like burping at the same time. She loves romance novels, and to her, the idea of being in love is way more exciting than the idea of actually being in a relationship and being in love in a real life relationship. So whenever she actually had a crush on someone or loved someone or felt anything for anyone, she would write a letter to that person, but she wouldn't send this letter out. She'd just keep it in a box in her closet. So she had about 8 or 9 letters, over time left in her closet. One day, all those letters are gone. So someone sent out all the letters to all the guys that she's
Did she actually put addresses on them?
She put their names and addresses on it.
God.
But in her defense and in her own words, I didn't put a stamp on it though. So it's pretty much someone, and you'll find out later who that is. I'm not going to give away the story at all.
Okay.
Sent out the letters, and all the guys get it. So obviously these guys are trying to find out, what's going on. One of the guys she sends it to is always gay, so he goes up to her and goes, I'm gay, right? And she's like, she didn't know, but she's like, well, yeah, I did know. One of the guys that gets it as well is her sister's boyfriend.
Yeah, I saw that in the trailer.
Who was her? So her sister's Margot. This girl, her name is Lara Jean, and her sister's boyfriend was her best friend. They were friends before he started dating her sister. So at some point while they were friends, she had feelings, and she wrote a letter. But she never acted on it because it went from that to like, oh wow, we're actually really good friends. We're best friends. You know how it kind of just transitions out of that. Your first sort of love and crush. You don't know what it actually is, but it's just you just really liking someone for who they are.
Yeah.
And then another one was a guy who, like the jock of the school, who classically you think, they play into the jock trope.
Yeah.
But I'm actually really surprised at how well they don't play into the jock trope.
Okay.
He actually turns out to be like, you'll hear everyone else say, oh, he's a jock, he's a stupid, but the character you meet and you're introduced to is someone who's actually just down to earth. He probably plays the role of a jock in school, but he's the complete opposite of that, outside of school and at home. So she starts to discover that side of him because he goes up to her and says, hey, I got this letter. You said you're in love with me. I just broke up with my ex-girlfriend. I need to make her jealous. Let's fake a relationship.
Oh, God.
Right? But through the faking the relationship, they, real things start coming out because they can be free, pretend, right? So they can say whatever they want. They don't feel pressure. The normal pressures of an actual relationship, they don't feel. So they're actually saying things and revealing each other's true self to each other. But by doing that, they start to realize, oh, crap. There's something possible there. And this whole movie is about how their relationship develops, the hijinks that ensues, the jealous ex-girlfriend that comes into the picture.
I'm already putting together the 90s trailer in my head.
Yeah,
like,
but
they're running together somewhere, the life of adventure, blah blah blah, and then like this specific song.
No, so here's the thing. I'm not really a big fan of rom-coms, and I'm telling everyone listening right now, this is.
Oh no, you cut out. You
cut out.
Rewind. Wait. You said this is, and then it cut out. What were you gonna say?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this isn't your usual rom-com.
Okay.
It's actually done differently. I'm not really a big fan of rom-coms, so trust me when I say this is actually something worth watching. And shout out to King Batch. This guy's in every Netflix movie now.
Oh, he's in
no
it?
way! Why are you holding? That's your ace in the hole. You've been holding this whole time.
I know. If you said that from the beginning,
why'd you say that from the start, fam? King Batch is in this. Oh,
King Batch is in this. He's the best friend to, I think, the guy she likes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really well done, and shout out to the Korean. I don't know if she's actually really Korean, but I think in the movie she is supposed to be Korean. Her and her two sisters, and it's just really well done. The love, the happiness, the smile, everything is just well written, and they did a really good job from what I've read and reviews of adapting the book to a movie. And I'll just give you the cast rundown real quick. And by the way, Will Smith was a producer on this too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so Lana Condor. I didn't really see her from anything else, but she was
X-Men.
Jubilee. She was Jubilee in X-Men. Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. In X-Men Apocalypse, who had all her roles cut out.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Scenes cut out.
all the roles that were cut out, and they're all filmed in the Cotonej Plaza.
I know, yeah. Because I remember specifically reading, what's her name, Lana Condor?
Lana Condor, yeah.
The first time I read it, it said Lana Condor, X-Men. And I was just like, what? And then I looked it up, and it's just like, girl who was cut from. I was like, whoa. How are you gonna list X-Men Apocalypse?
Well, I think
she's still in the movie.
I think
but all her main scenes are cut.
I think they kind of knew that. Oh, we kind of put her stuff on the cutting room floor. So what we're gonna do is let her do the Charles Xavier commercial for the school. So as a commercial for online. So I was like, okay, let's try to give her a little play.
Yeah. Her career is actually on it's coming up a bit. She's going to be in the Alita Battle Angel movie.
Okay.
And the sci-fi show Deadly Class. She's actually going to be playing one of the main characters on there too.
Really?
So, she's going to be on there.
I'm very excited for that. Very excited.
Israel Broussard. He was in. Have you seen Happy Death Day?
No, I have not
heard about it.
Oh, it's really good, by the way. You guys should go watch that. He plays one of the main, but the main like love interest in Happy Death Day, which is a really good movie for a horror film. I mean, Blumhouse. You got to give it to Blumhouse. They make some really good stuff.
Amazing stuff.
Oh, speaking of which, Upgrade by Blumhouse is amazing. Have you guys seen that?
No, I haven't seen it.
I heard it had a lot of fresh.
Go watch Upgrade by Blumhouse. We'll talk about this next time.
Okay.
It's really good.
I definitely want to see it.
I saw the trailer.
Yeah, because we posted a trailer on the site a while ago.
It is incredible.
Yeah, I like that actor.
Yeah.
He's the guy who played the brother on the OC, the one that gets killed.
Wait,
is he?
Really?
Yeah, I remember in the OC at one point.
Oh, Logan Green, whatever.
Yeah, because remember, what's his name? Ben McKenzie's character has a brother.
Yeah.
And then the brother's causing a whole bunch of trouble.
Right.
And then they end up killing the brother. Him? Yeah, look it up. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it is. You're right.
Yeah, I was willing to put money on that one. I was like, I'm sure it's him.
I know him from Alien Covenant. He's the first guy to go.
Oh,
he's also in Homecoming. He's the first. What's his name?
Shocker. Yes.
Oh,
shit.
no way.
It's funny. That's where I should have remembered him from, but I remember him legit from the OC.
From the OC,
I
did not.
I remember him from Alien Covenant. He's the guy that drinks the goop.
Ew.
He's the guy that drinks the goo that the android puts in.
Oh, okay.
Because he's talking smack about him. He's like, all right, well, I'm gonna test this on you, and then he just got all like
Oh shit.
messed up.
Yeah, he's like identical to Tom Hardy looks wise.
I know.
Exactly
Yes, he does.
I could see that. I could
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, so I think his career is also taking that same path. But
Okay.
anyway,
We'll check it out.
Israel Broussard also, by the way, is kind of backpedaling from some recent stuff in the media. He's apologizing from like old tweets now too.
Who?
So I don't know what's gonna. Israel Broussard, the kid I said is from Happy Death Day.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the main. He's the best friend that dates her sister in this movie.
Okay.
Apparently, like back in the day, he wrote some insensitive tweets that people can consider homophobic or racist. But from reading them, it's just people are overly sensitive. It's just a kid. He was like maybe 16, 17 and said some stupid shit. Nothing too crazy.
I've heard people say it before, and I think people are right. Delete all your tweets. Delete them.
Yeah, I heard about somebody did that recently.
Yep.
Like they deleted all their tweets because they didn't want anybody from the show to get fired.
Yeah.
Like they didn't want
Because
his.
the
They didn't want
same
him to get
person-
fired. And then
it was a
cascaded.
director. I know. I don't remember which director it was. You're right though. It was he was just like forget it and just deleted every tweet in his account.
Because
And I was
the
like,
guy going around doing all this, like he's the guy that started Pizzagate.
Oh,
It's
gosh,
the same. It's the
yeah.
same dude that like just lying on everybody, saying, "Oh, this person did this person did that." Da da da.
Always some
And what's
stuff.
even funnier is that guy has been, no, he had a case where he raped somebody,
he's accused.
accused,
Yeah,
and then he
okay.
took
Allegedly.
and then he took a plea deal to get it lowered.
Ooh.
And then he had to get that expunged from his record, and now he's
Well, what about it's the same thing with Asia Argento right now.
Yeah.
One of the main leaders in the Me Too movement also has someone accusing her of molesting him when he was 16 or 17.
The thing that I found quite a bit nasty about that is that she put it on Anthony. I thought that was pretty nasty.
Yeah, she said he paid.
She said Anthony Bourdain was the one that pushed her toward that Anthony wanted to make sure that this wouldn't affect their careers and felt it was better to pay than to try and make this go through the actual case. I thought that was he's passed.
He's not here to defend himself.
He's not here to defend himself. I feel like that's a little even if it's true, I would have just been like I wouldn't have said anything. The fact that you said, well, Anthony was the one. It's like, dude, he loved you. He cared for you. If you felt that was the best way to represent that by saying he was trying to protect me, I get it. But you should have said Anthony was trying to protect me from a potential bad PR situation where someone was trying to take advantage. It may not have been the best decision, but it's the way we felt we should move forward. That's one thing. But the way she said it, it's all about how you spin things. And the fact that the way she said it, when I read it, I was just like, this sounds like you're blaming Anthony for this. That's not like, dude's dead, So yeah,
nasty. But anyway, going back to the movie, to all the boys I loved before, new Netflix original, really well done. You guys should all go watch it. I loved it. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Dope.
Oh,
okay.
wow. All right.
That's good. Yeah.
And you don't like nothing.
Right? You know what? You should go listen to That's Canon. See how little I like it.
Oh, damn.
Oh, man.
I'm going into my cartoon bag again, kids. Doc's been like plowing through animated series. I watched Craig of the Creek. I watched a whole bunch of stuff recently, but the ones I want to talk about really quickly this week. First off, I'm going to start with Disenchantment, which is another Netflix series. I don't know if you guys saw it, but
Didn't see it, but I know about it.
Yeah, Abby
Matt Groening, right?
Yeah, Matt Groening. Yeah. It's very much in the style of The Simpsons. You'll see the animation and whatnot. You have 3 characters. You have Elfo, Bean, and Lucy. Lucy is played by Eric Andre. He's a demon.
Oh God.
Who's the bad?
Did you say Lucy? He plays
Lucy the demon.
Plays a female character.
I mean, I think Lucy is supposed to be short for Lucifer. I think that's the joke.
Oh, okay. I get it.
But he calls himself Lucy.
Hello. As you notice, you're in hell. My name is the devil.
Yeah,
Lucifer. Or you might call me Toby.
Yeah. Like
that's from Rowan Atkinson Live though.
Oh, okay.
That's from Rowan Atkinson Live.
But yeah, so you have Lucy, you have Elfo, who's played by Nat Faxon, and you have Abby Jacobson playing Bean.
Dope.
The story is kind of about a place called Dreamland. The father is the king to Bean, who's a princess. He's trying to find the elixir of life because and you don't really find out why, but you find out that the elixir of life needs elf's blood, and Bean makes friends with an elf who they essentially let hang out with her, but at the same time, they're literally trying to drain his blood.
Oh, no.
So it's kind of a funny story. Eric Andre's character of Lucy is great because he's literally just telling them to do the worst possible thing at any given moment.
Right.
Like, he's outright telling you,
So
like,
he's Eric Andre.
yeah. He says, like let's say there's a cliff and you're about to jump, and he's just like, he'll say something like, I mean, you'll only find out what happens if you do jump. Like, stuff like that. Like, it's really twisted. It's really
funny.
twisted.
You know what? The name Lucy also reminds me of that show called Lucy, the Daughter of the Devil.
Oh.
I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yes, I do remember that. And then there's another one that I really like that I looked up recently, God, the Devil, and Bob.
Oh, yeah.
That was another good one, but with Lucifer. There's a lot of good shows with Satan. Like, I know that's bad, but like, there's a lot of interest.
That is like the worst thing.
I know.
Like religious people.
I know. If my mom's listening to this one, she ain't gonna be happy. But
They just do some good writing with
it's just
them.
yeah. That's the thing. People who get to write the devil really probably get to enjoy themselves because it's just like, I'm not writing this.
But-
the devil made me do it, and they just
And
write
don't-
any
and they
old
don't-
crazy
they
nonsense.
don't outright write him as, oh my god, he's so evil. Like, it's just so
No,
obvious.
'cause
It's
the
always
thing-
and same with what's that other show that got canceled and came back?
I don't remember, but are you?
Lucifer.
Yeah. Oh yes.
So
That's
the all the time what happens is, God shows up,
Yeah.
and then the devil and God talk. They do that in the Bible already.
Yeah.
And it's like the God's like, yo, you were my favorite. You were my number
But
one.
that's the thing.
Like,
Like,
dude, I don't hate you.
anytime you get to write the devil, it's always the idea of, writing someone who is the greatest trick the devil ever did was making us think he doesn't exist,
Yeah.
right? So the devil in any show is always just this kind of casual, cool guy who tells you, oh, by the way, I'm Satan. But because he's not Satan the way we've been told our entire lives,
or we picture him, or we draw him as, or
everyone's
whatever.
just like, oh, well, that can't be actual Satan. And then they just interact with the devil.
Yeah.
And he's literally telling you to do the worst possible things, but it just sounds like bad advice from a dude, as opposed to the devil is literally telling you to jump off a cliff. The devil is literally telling you to kill this person, but it just sounds like a crazy friend. You're just like, girl, you insane.
So can you speak on the bad? Did you watch all of it, by the way?
Yeah, I watched the whole season. The
Can you
ending
speak
is
on
great.
some of the bad reviews I've been seeing?
What were some of the? I didn't see what some of the bad. What were the reviews saying?
Just that it was a missed opportunity and it could have been done better and stuff like that. Nothing really too specific, more granular. Really.
I feel like I get that. I feel like it's slow, it's dark, but I think the reason it's done that way is because, I mean, if they watch the whole thing, the season finale has a really, really big moment that is going to bleed into a very interesting second season. There is a stretched out thing of the story is being essentially an alcoholic. Lucy becomes her devil sidekick. You have Elfo, who's in love with her, but he's an elf. So things are just always weird with those two. There's an episode where they do like drugs. There's an episode where they're drunk. There's an episode where they kill a person, and like not even just like jokingly kill a person. Like no, like someone actually gets murdered, and like they just kind of bypass it, and you're like, well, no, guys, you just murdered. So like that person's dead. Like what the hell?
Yeah.
There's a lot of death. A lot of death.
Oh.
Like
not comical death.
no, man. Like
not like Futurama death.
no.
No,
Yes,
I actually
Futurama
watched
death.
I watched the first 6 minutes just yesterday just to get a glance, and like one of the first scenes is like a bar fight.
Yeah.
She's like,
yes, exactly. Like everything in the show is just very much like it really does play on the fact that it's like a medieval time story. So it's like violence, knights in shining armor, sex orgies, magical sex orgies, like stuff like that. It's all just a crazy wild Adult Swim meets The Simpsons story.
Okay.
So, I mean, if people are disappointed, I sure, but it's the same type of disappointment you would have had if you watched Venture Brothers season 1.
Right.
Like where like you're watching and you're just like, oh, okay, has funny moments, but like, where are you building to? Oh, well, you have to watch this because we're building to something.
Oh my god!
And Venture Brothers, you and I, we've talked about it.
Yeah, the recent episodes.
Venture Brothers, you have to watch season 1 because there's so many payoffs.
Yeah.
The same way I think that Disenchantment, if you're shitting on it because you felt it was slow, that's fine. But season 1, pilot season, keep watching, because I think the way they ended that season, some interesting twists.
I'm gonna give it a chance for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Then I watched DuckTales 2017 edition.
I heard it was good.
Bobby Moynihan, Ben Schwartz, and Danny Putty as the kids, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Scrooge McDuck is David Tennant.
Wow.
Beck Bennett plays Launchpad. I always forget this actress. She's
Kate Micucci.
Yes, Kate Micucci. She was on Oates, Hall & Oates, Garfunkel and Oates.
Yeah.
That band.
Garfunkel and Oates. Yeah. First of all, Kate Micucci's character, the best. Webby, she is easily my favorite character on the show because the way they do it is she's supposed to just be a kid who's training to be a spy, but she's not allowed to talk about the fact that she's training to be a spy. So she's regularly dropping hints about like, oh, I'm just going to a day camp. No, I'm just going to a sleepaway camp where you learn to survive and play with grenades. And she just says this stuff and you're like, what? And then she like drops her grenade and she like, and then like puts her foot out and just pulls it back, and they're all like, what? What's going on?
What?
Yeah,
she's really talented. I hate that the first thing I know her from is The Big Bang Theory, because I know she's done a lot more than that.
Yeah, she was on Big Bang Theory.
Oh, no, I mean, I know she is, but I know her more from Scrubs.
Yes, she was also on Scrubs.
She's always dating the loser guy.
Yeah.
And it's always adorable.
I like her.
She dated Ted the hospital
administrator.
And no, he's not the administrator. He's the lawyer. So if anyone gets sued, anyone gets sued, it's him. But he's just a mess of a man.
I know. But yeah, she's great in it. The three brothers have different personalities. When we watch the original cartoon, did you notice if they had such drastically different?
No, in the original '80s cartoon, no, not at all.
No, exactly.
I felt they really tried to push for that when they did another show called Quack Pack or Quack Attack.
Okay,
and that was more so Huey, Dewey, and Louie are more in their adolescence.
Okay, and
then they all have their kind of own individual style.
Yeah,
and then it's Daisy, but she like works for a news station. And she's like on site and stuff, and then Donald is like her cameraman boyfriend kind of thing.
Okay,
and they're living with him.
Are you sure it's Quack Attack? Because I think that was the game. No,
it's Quack.
Sorry, I'm thinking
Quack
Quackers.
No, it's Quack. It was Quack Pack or something like that. It was like one of the tail end shows from the Disney Afternoon. Disney Afternoon on NBC. It was like the tail end of that.
Okay,
and I thought it was a good show.
I didn't get to watch that one, but I will say that giving them each their own personalities has made it far more interesting.
Yeah, of course.
Like Huey is all by the book. He's like a Boy Scout or whatever the equivalent is.
Leonardo.
Leonardo.
Yeah, I was like literally thinking turtles when you said that.
Yeah, and then Louis is my favorite character because he's what because I don't know any equivalents, but in Star Trek there's the Ferengis, who just love money. Louis is amazing with that. He's
Scrooge McDuck Jr.
Yo, dude, seriously, his whole angle is just like, we got to figure out how to inherit it all. And Scrooge is always telling him, like, you can't have anything. And he's just like, and they go on adventures. And, like, there's one episode where they, like, there's, like, a gem. They get raw, like, they find, you know how they always go on these adventures, right?
Yeah.
So they go on this adventure, they find all the treasure, and then they get robbed. But the thieves don't take this one gem.
Right.
And Louis has this one gem the whole time because he's just like, and he's talking to the gem, and Webby tells him, oh, there's a gem missing. There's a gem that, Scrooge really wanted. He's like, oh, really? What kind of gem is it? Well, when you look into it, it gives you your deepest, darkest thoughts. And then Louis, like, turns around and looks into the gem. He's just like, oh, no, what if this is the gem? I have to figure out how to get it back so that they don't get mad at me. And then the gem replies, or you could just keep me. And you're like, oh, God. And then at the end of the episode, there's a twist to it. And you're like, oh, what? Like, it made me, like, I was so confused, but I was like, this is so impressive. And then Dewey is the middle child.
Yeah.
So there's always middle child syndrome, and he's just always ignored and annoyed. Like, there's an episode where Scrooge gets, like, they crash, because Launchpad always crashes.
Right.
And Scrooge is just like, okay, Huey, you do this. Dewey, you do this. And Louie, you do this. But when he says it, he looks at Huey, says the order, then he turns around, then he looks back at Huey, and Huey accidentally blows up something and gets covered in blue paint. And Scrooge looks at him and just says the next order. But Dewey has already left. And then he looks over and he sees Louie, and he gives Louie the third order. And then, Webby, you help Louie do this. So the whole episode, everyone assumes Dewey's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and Dewey has been gone and has not been there. And when he finally shows up at the end, everyone's just like, oh, wait, you were gone? And he, like, flips out, and it's pretty good.
That's great.
All that to say, the season finale is like a lot of, like, I'm in a whole bunch of Blurred groups, and a lot of my Blurred groups have been posting about it. The season finale actually gets really emotional. The second to last and the season finale joint get emotional and very interesting and very deep, and it's a very well told story, so I recommend people check it out. And also, added bonus, Don Cheadle does the voice of Donald Duck in the last episode.
So that's the last episode. Okay.
Yeah, there's an episode.
Because I remember I saw that during
there's like
Comic-Con. I was like, this is a joke. And then when I finally watched the video, I was like, oh, okay, that's how it's working.
Yeah. Don Cheadle is the
normal voice.
The normal voice of Donald Duck. Like, if Donald Duck was to have a voice box, it would be Don Cheadle's voice, which was pretty funny. It was very well done. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about, My Hero Academia Provisional Hero License Exam Arc.
Look at you. You're growing up.
I know. Or Saga, as some people have referred to.
Stepping up your anime game. Look at you.
Yeah, that's one side of my game that's super weak right now, is the anime.
Dude, I gotta tell you.
If you want one to jump in, this is the one.
I was going to say the same thing. My Hero Academia is easily the simplest anime for a Westerner to jump into, because it's essentially the story of a world. Oh, you know what world it is? It's the House of M world.
Oh,
it's a
really?
world where 80% of the population have mutant powers, aka quirks.
Right.
And it's a world like it's the world you would like. What would happen if 80% of the population had quirks, and being a superhero was a day job that you could get, and you could get a license for, and you could do it for the government and get paid and get like covered.
Something a little bit similar to that is Tiger and Bunny, but it's not 80%. It's like, I think, people in this one city.
Oh, okay.
And you get sponsored to be one, and you're on and you're specifically on a TV show that, like, we're about to catch.
I did watch the pilot for that.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I like Tiger and
That's
Bunny.
the one where the guy, it used to be an older superhero.
Yeah.
And he's the other one's, it's like, it's
the other guy, they both have the same
couple.
Yeah, they both have the same powers, but the younger guy does things like more seriously by the book, and then the older guy's like, nah, you can lay it back, or like, we'll wing it, don't worry about it. You know, and he's there to mentor / be the sidekick to the newer guy, because like, no, the only reason we have you is because you're like you're the old dude.
Yeah, and then when there's like the whole first episode is about the uniform, and he's all annoyed about having to switch his uniform. And stuff. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, because his old sponsors were part of like a newspaper that was going out of business. Sadly.
Yes, exactly.
So it's pretty interesting. But
it was. Yeah, I did like the pilot. I would recommend that. Yeah, what is it called?
Tiger and Bunny.
Yeah, people should watch that one as well. But My Hero Academia, the Provisional Hero License Exam Arc, aka Saga, is super interesting. Essentially, they have gotten to a point where, you know, all the characters that you love, have grown to love on the show, have been developing their power sets throughout the series. You know, like any group of teenagers trying to learn. UA Academy, or I guess it's just called UA. But UA is kind of like a Charles Xavier school if it was in the House of M world. Like, you go to school, you have classes, you have hero classes. They help you develop costumes and identities and help you work on your power sets and your special moves. And like, one of the things that's cool is like they worked on their like essentially their like finisher in one of the last episodes, which was super interesting. It's like, yeah, you have kids working on finishers. That's so dope. And yeah, this arc introduces a bunch of different schools, because there's other schools in the world where people can learn to be heroes. And that's one of the things I found the most interesting about it, is because, you hear about the fact that there's like, this is the main school and it's the most famous school and the most acclaimed school. But, you also imagine that if 80% of the population and they don't take that many students here, where is everyone else going?
Yeah.
And that's when you get to see all these other schools. And on top of that, you get to see all the other classes, because there's like level 1A, which is the main series is about 1A, and then you got 1B, and then 2A, 2B, like second years and stuff. So yeah,
typical shonen anime where at a certain point there's an exam, there's a tournament, and everyone has to, like, people from all over, they bring in other weird,
and then the villains come in, and the villains were in hiding the whole time, and it's cool. I mean,
tropes.
Yeah, I that's one of the things I'm starting to learn about anime. Like, they're all literally
ones.
But each, like, I was reading, like, I was watching a thing where it explained, like, these types of animes are this.
Yeah,
These types of animes are this.
Yeah.
So they literally are categorized the same way that we have, like, sitcoms and, police procedurals.
Exactly.
So it's fine. It's just knowing that makes it unfortunate sometimes when you watch other stuff, because you already know exactly what's going to happen.
Because when you go backwards, you're going to start seeing
I
either
like
parallels or like, you got your inspiration from this.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying Naruto as much as everyone was telling me, and I think that has a lot. Naruto
at a certain point, it's like, okay, I'm out. And then, like, for me, I was like, I'm going to just read the manga to plow through it all.
Yeah. Yeah, so Naruto, one of the things that I'm finding a little hard is because I watch My Hero Academia, and there's a lot of the whole...
That's shonen anime in general, like, especially when it's, like, younger kids going to a school.
But Hunter x Hunter, I didn't find did that.
Hunter x Hunter is probably one of the first...
Yeah,
is like,
because
it originally came out way back in the 80s.
But Hunter x Hunter does a really good job of telling the story and not seeming like any of the others, which would make sense, because if it's one of the first, it's not influenced by anything. But then, like, Naruto and then My Hero Academia, when I watch both of them, like, I've watched one and then watched the other, I find it very difficult to watch Naruto, because I find and as much as most network or television develops, because our attention spans are smaller, the shows move faster.
Yeah.
Like, My Hero Academia doesn't have filler episodes.
Yeah, well, and also you have to remember with Naruto, it's coming out as the manga's coming out. So at a certain point, the show kind of catches up, and they have to do filler, or they have to stretch the budget. Or,
well, I'm hoping that
there's always some weird shit going on.
My Hero Academia, I looked up the manga and found that they're not that far behind in the show. Like, at all. Like, the hero license exam, provisional hero license exam arc is, like, they're just ending that in the manga, but then in the anime, they're in the middle of it now. So they're not that far behind. So I'm hoping, like you were mentioning, if they're catching up, it might affect it.
And some mangas, sometimes the author, like, will meander or whatever.
They take breaks.
So,
Hunter x Hunter took a huge break from what I understood.
They're killing themselves with this stuff, man. There's, like, series where the creator dies and people have to try to finish it, or they just keep it going and it's not as good as it was before. But
that's interesting. So it just definitely makes me realize how, like, so far behind I am on manga and anime. I'm very well versed in hentai, by the way, but
like Samuel Jackson.
Hilarious.
Like Samuel Jackson, he's very well versed in it.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, he helped produce Afro Samurai.
Is Afro Samurai considered hentai?
No, it's not. But
I was like, there
was an Ask Me.
I was like, is there a version of it?
There's an interview. There's an interview on YouTube that he does, and he's like, "Oh, I kind of like Japanese anime, but I really like hentai. Go look that up."
Oh,
like,
boy.
He actually no shame,
just
no shame, and everyone's like, "What?"
Funny. Yeah,
he actually likes anime. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
known.
I like I said, these animes are super interesting to me. I've been supplementing my cartoon viewing with animes and just, like, old cartoons and modern cartoons. Like, Craig of the Creek is a super interesting cartoon, and it's very similar in the same I think you call them slice of life animes.
Yeah,
where it's like slice of life is just what?
Just exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, okay, that's what I
It's
thought.
just part of your life. This is like, nothing crazy is going on. Just like,
Oh no, that's not fair then. Because
it's just like, oh hey, you're meeting up with your friend and this little thing happens.
that's not what Craig of the Creek
Maybe
is,
something silly happens, but it's not crazy surreal.
Craig of the Creek is a story about a kid and the creek in the back of their neighborhood, and each area of the creek is representative of a different culture. So there's like the anime kids who all think they're ninjas.
Yeah.
There's the sewer kids who all like, the leader has webbed feet and they all wear goggles and play in the sewers like under, which is weird, but and then like they have the pony kids and they're like a group of girls who literally act like ponies,
Right.
And like do jumps.
Yeah.
like it's,
Well, I mean, I can kind of see like in a sense.
I would say
where,
that's why I said slice of life, because it's just like this kid's life every day after school is this.
yeah. But I can kind of see it like in the end it'll just be a bunch of kids just playing imagination and
Yeah, that's
doing
what
that.
it is.
Yeah.
That's it. Literally,
Yeah,
it's just
so that-
kids using their imagination.
Yeah, that could be slice of
But
life.
then there's also like the imagination, because it's a cartoon. The imagination is actually shown.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I could see that as being a slice of life kind of
Yeah.
thing.
But yeah, those are the shows and stuff that I've been checking out, and I recommend all of them: DuckTales, Disenchantment, and My Hero Academia. Watch My Hero Academia from the get go. It's all on Crunchyroll. If you guys want to check it out, by all means, sign up. I think it's worth it. You can also get Crunchyroll for free. I think you just have to
30-day
watch
trials and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they have.
Or no, but you can watch the stuff. It's just that there's ads.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
You just
so
make
I
an
mean-
account or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah. So
I'd
I
watch
mean,
it.
if anything, just watch the show that way. Like, it's worth it. The show's super fun.
They need the money. And when I mean they, I mean like the people
No, I know.
making the anime and stuff.
Yeah,
No,
but if I don't pay, they still get the advertising.
Yeah, that's what I
So-
mean. I mean, sign up, watch it, watch the ads, whatever.
Yeah.
Make a sandwich,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
whatever else you have to gotta do.
I mean, we are not that program that we can't figure out. Like, if anything, because of who we are, you won't end up watching the advertisements, but you'll end up just having another window open with like a YouTube that you watch in between.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the same as just changing the channel when you were on watching regular TV. I ain't mad at it. But yeah, guys, that's all. That's our view of the right thing. We're gonna be going into our geek news and rumors.
Bow. Tonight.
We don't have a lot in the geek news and rumors this week, but that's because we're going to end off the show soon anyway, so it works out perfectly. This one, Watchmen pilot picked up 2 series by HBO. That's relatively new news because originally they had just picked a pilot, but now they're going full series with it.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's
It's that good?
We don't know.
My thing with that is, and Toby, I'm going to send you the article. There's a Variety article that came out recently that talks about how Netflix has forced the hand of a lot of networks to adjust how they look at series. The article is very interesting. It talks a lot about Netflix and Disney specifically because Disney is the one that was majorly affected by it and made the first moves. They talk about CBS and CBS All Access. But the reason that I say that is this Watchmen pilot was good, but the fact that it got picked up to series, I don't know if it's actually because the pilot was so good, or because everyone gets skittish about a show going to another network and offers, because Netflix often offers a direct to series. They don't do pilots.
Yeah.
Like when they take
Right.
when
But
they take
Netflix also drops the whole season one time. So I don't know what HBO's I don't know what their thought process is here.
It's because so I was that's it. I read an article a couple months ago where they explained specifically all the networks now a lot of them are going to series for at least one season, specifically because they can't compete with Netflix countering with an automatic one season offer. So they can't say, well, let us see a pilot and see how it goes. And then Netflix comes and says, oh, you know what? Forget a pilot. Give us the whole show. We like the idea. It's like, what? Like, how do we counter that? So
interesting.
You want to know what I think? HBO's they're like, oh man, I wish this didn't happen. I bet you they're like, they see the pilot and they're like, can you like put some nudity in this? Because it is HBO, and they're like, nah, we don't want to do that. And it's like, but it's HBO. We need a little bit, a little more smut, a little bit more boobies, a little something. And like, no, we're not gonna do it. And it's like, Netflix said they want it. Okay, we're gonna buy it. Yeah. So you can do what you want. Keep it. Oh, no nudity. It doesn't matter.
It's gonna have a ton of nudity.
No, but I think it'd be funny if that was the case.
Well, I mean, what you just described is literally how. Oh, I remember what it was. It was a Nerdist podcast, the Writers podcast. where they talk about the exact fact that, and what you just described is exactly what they said. Some shows will be like, oh, you go to this network, you're like, oh, so can you guys make these changes? We would, but Netflix just offered us a full, and they're like, okay, we'll give you a full series, do it however you want.
Yeah.
And people are getting more creative control because of that. But at the same time, sometimes you're not getting the best show, which is what's happening. But yeah, so Watchmen,
that's what happens. Like, so you gotta take the good with the bad, I guess.
Yeah, and I will say this: if DC Universe was coming out and Watchmen is a DC property, maybe that's one of the reasons HBO said to go to full series. Because otherwise, if DC Universe came around, saw it, and said, "Oh, you know what? We'll just take it. Like, it's in house, it's theirs."
Yeah.
So,
and I also feel that sometimes, everyone feels like, no, we don't want the execs pushing in on us, this and that. I find that when you have somebody else pushing against you, it gets you to be more creative.
Yeah.
So you don't get those awesome stories, and I'm pretty sure you won't get those awesome stories anymore of like the DC animators trying to get around censorship and stiffen that.
You say it makes you more creative?
I think so. Like in the sense of like, oh well,
creative with how you can get away with things.
Yeah,
because you have to try and sneak it past the censors and stuff.
Yeah,
and get it past.
I was gonna say, I guess it depends on the content and material. I mean, always going back to our classic case of Marvel and DC with the movie universe, right?
Yeah.
It didn't make DC more creative. It made they hit the panic button, and that could also happen too.
We need to be more edgy and cool and this and that, and it's like, oh boy.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is super interesting, Bourne Universe is expanding with the Threadstone, Threadstone on USA
Network. Was always their key thing and everything.
Yeah. What is it? The series is going to be about
them making more
activating more Bournes. Yeah, I guess that's what
I'm assuming.
Because Operation Treadstone was all about those sleeper agents that they had, including Jason Bourne.
So all the people that go up against Jason Bourne and die, that's all them. The show's about. That's all them.
Yeah, so that's what it's coming to USA now.
The first season will follow sleeper agents across the globe as they're mysteriously awakened to resume their deadly missions.
God damn.
So I think we'll actually get different people every sort of episode, kind of like how Altered Carbon, which is coming out for a second season.
Yes. Black guy too. Who's it? That's the other piece of news that I want to write down and I forgot. Yeah. Altered Carbon Season 2 has cast... Oh, Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie. I know, right?
Yeah.
Falcon is going to be the star of Altered Carbon Season 2.
Nice.
I wonder if he's going to be the same character or is it going to be an anthology style?
I think it'll be the same character because that character could be anyone.
Yeah.
And I think, so that's pretty much what it's going to be.
Interesting. So
in my
So if you guys didn't know, Anthony Mackie is going to be doing that Season 2. Hopefully that doesn't interfere with anything. God forbid.
So I wanted to draw that parallel in the sense that, like, they'll switch through characters, which could be cool.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. Treadstone on USA Network is coming. James Gunn is making a horror movie for Sony to be released in November.
So there's more to this.
Okay, cool. I'm just so happy that they're not just talking about Disney and James Gunn anymore.
So basically, his movie was supposed to be announced during Comic-Con. But because of him getting fired, because of all the Twitter stuff, Sony kind of removed it from their lineup at Comic-Con, basically.
Oh, okay.
So, and now everyone is guessing what the movie is going to be. So it's a horror movie, and people are saying it is either the anime or anime manga Berserk, or the Sony game Bloodborne.
Okay.
And I was like, that is so weird. And then somebody was asking me, how are these two even linked? And I was like, oh well, Bloodborne, the video game, has a lot of influence from the anime manga Berserk.
Oh, okay.
So like talking about people that are cursed and have this like mark on them, and demons are coming out of the place to like kind of kill them and stuff.
But how is this even this speculation? Where does that even come from?
That's what I was confused by, because it's like maybe somebody saw something and they were like, oh, this looks like either one or the other, and it's just like, how does that fly underneath the radar that well? You know what I mean?
So I don't think it's going to be announced then. It'll just kind of go under the radar like the Billionaire Boys Club movie.
Well, no, if you go scroll down, there, updates.
No, Sony confirmed that with Screen Rant that the movie is scheduled for a November release.
Yeah, so the end of November it's coming out, basically. November 30th.
I know, but I don't think they'll promote it like that.
Yeah.
It's already like August.
Yeah, and also the last big video game thing that happened was
Assassin's Creed?
No. There's currently right now Gamescom going on in Germany. So it's like Europe's E3 basically.
Oh, okay.
So that would have been a good time to promote it if it was related to Bloodborne, related to a video game. But
I see what you're
nope. But originally it was supposed to come out during Comic-Con and nothing.
I find it weird that, like, first of
Like
all,
that speculation of those two properties. I'm like, what?
Also, James Gunn is not a pariah. Like, people do not care that he did the, like, people care, but more people are just like, Disney firing him was stupid. You guys are idiots. Whatever.
It might, but like I remember I was talking with Proto Man, and it could be that maybe they might have had a falling out. Maybe something happened behind the scenes that we don't know about, and this was probably the best way to exit him out from Disney.
I'm not even going to speculate on that. I don't care anymore.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
No, honestly,
that's fair enough.
It's been like a month of the same thing. So
moving on.
I thought you were talking about with Sony. I was just like,
no. I'm not talking about Sony.
I'm happy for him. I hope this project at Sony does get some shine. I agree though with Toby. The timeline is so totally messed up. Like I know I understand why you wouldn't want to do the PR stuff at the same time where he's being crucified for tweets. But now you give yourself such an impossible timeline. Like if you're looking
push the date. You're really going to release
100% agree. I think they should push the date.
Push it up, push it forward. Well,
like they've already done some stuff. They've already changed. Silver Sable is done. Black Cat and Silver Sable is.
I thought is it split into two movies?
Yeah, they're doing two separate movies now as opposed to a joint movie. Yeah, which is We already didn't want a Black Cat movie.
Like, we didn't want a Venom one either, but that's happening.
I was like, yeah, sure, Black Cat. Why not do a better Catwoman? Why not do it? Better Catwoman. Do it.
But they're not going to. That's the problem.
I know. Oh, well.
Like they're not going to make a better Catwoman.
Better Catwoman with no nonsense. Oh, it's a goddess. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Stupid.
That's what I mean. So close.
Like the Spider-Man 2017 animated series. I just finished binge watching that recently, and they did one of the best versions of Silver Sable, and the Black Cat I didn't like too much because she has powers. She's not just Black Cat. She actually has Domino's powers. She can affect your luck.
Yeah, they always change her up.
Yeah, that was kind of annoying.
I think in the 90s cartoon, they made it that she had like basically the super soldier serum kind of thing.
Oh, was that it? Okay.
It was like she put on the mask and presses some button and super soldier, you know?
But Silver Sable was amazing. She was ahead of a hit squad and like everything was like military precision and stuff. And it was super cool. And I was like, this character with this team in a movie, I would totally watch.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. But yeah. And then the last bit of news we have before we end it off, Crazy Rich Asians, #1 at the box office. Congratulations.
Could have predicted that.
Yeah, I mean, that was easy.
It had the same. Well, that's a lie. I was gonna say it had the same momentum as Black Panther, but it didn't. But similar. Yeah.
I mean, once it hits, because it's going to Asia too. They said, right? It's getting a release in China. I can only imagine how well it's gonna do.
I hope so.
It came in 5th amongst top tweeting countries. The Philippines, Malaysia, Canada rounded out spots 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, I mean,
do you think it's hype though for it to still have 98% of Rotten Tomatoes?
As much as Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean,
I guess I'll watch it, and we could talk about it next week. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm supposed to go see it with my buddy this weekend, and hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh, okay. I heard some reviews of it, and it's like, yay, this movie got made, but essentially it's a rom-com.
Yeah. The thing is, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we get to this one day, that it doesn't matter that we have Asian stars in a rom-com. I hope it does as poorly as any other rom-com that comes out. The only
eventually.
Yeah,
I remember some
we
reviewers,
get to a point where the rom-coms fail because they're just bad movies.
Terrible.
It's like, because I remember I was watching one review and the guy had to like preface it. It's like, no, I understand what's going on right now and this and that, blah, 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 blah. It is a rom-com.
Yeah, that's all it is.
So please keep in mind.
Yeah. And it's the same. And funny enough, we there have been black versions of this exact story. Mm-hmm. It's just that in the States, those are black movies.
Deliver Us from Ava.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
What was the one where it's the guy bringing the girl and like the mom's a terror and stuff like that?
I don't know, but
it's the actors that play. Oh, she always has a very mousy voice. But this one she actually plays a sturdy mom.
The one that played the mom on Jared Carmichael's show?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. And she played the wife on the PJs.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
One of the funniest tweets that I just read in that link you guys posted is from Lena Waithe.
Yeah.
It says, "Go see the film this weekend. It's just as important as Black Panther and Wrinkle in Time. Let's do it for the culture.
Oh, you see?
And if you got an Asian tattoo, you should buy a ticket just out of respect."
Oh yeah. Did they show the replies to that though? Because there was actually some nasty replies to her tweet.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Okay, so here's one of the things. Again, in these blurred groups that I'm part of on Facebook and stuff, there's actually a lot of people who are angry at the idea that there's so many black entertainers telling people to support this because they're saying the Asian community hates on black people all the time. And I'm like, and I totally get it. I get it. Like, if you even just watch the movie Good Hair by Chris Rock, there's a whole thing about the Korean hair mass production market and how they take advantage of in black communities and all this stuff. I 100% understand that. But I think the bigger point that some people are trying to make, and these entertainers specifically are trying to say, is we need to get to a space where all the posters at the theater are just an actual representation of the world.
Yeah,
where it's like,
it can't just be Romeo Must Die.
Yeah.
It can't just be Exit Wounds.
Yeah, like there can't just be a short list of westernized Asian movies, but on top of that,
It
again,
can't just be, black dudes starring Jet Li movies.
yeah. And that's the other thing that bugs me about it. Like,
They just double up on the minorities in there.
yeah, if there's a black version of this movie, it's a black movie.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, and this is an Asian movie. At the end of the day, they should all just be the crappy rom-coms that are rom-coms. I shouldn't have to
It
support.
should just be the movie.
Yeah, and also this other thing that we need to get over, because this is another thing I saw in my blurred groups, and I really don't understand it. You can go see Equalizer and Black Klansman
Yeah.
in the same weekend.
Yeah.
There was regular debates about
Which
which
one
one are we supporting this weekend? Support any movie. Do you go to the theater and see white actors and say, okay, which white movie? No, why are you trying to figure out?
Just go see it because you're interested in it.
Yeah, if you don't, it's a Spike Lee movie. Go see a Spike Lee movie. If it's a Denzel movie, go see
As
a
a
Denzel.
Denzel sequel.
Yeah.
Go see the Denzel
Do what
sequel.
you want, but don't like I know one person made it interesting because I didn't know it at the time, but Black Klansman stars Denzel's son.
Yeah. He sounds exactly like him.
Yeah.
Did you see the
Straight up.
He doesn't want to be known as his son though. That was a big thing.
Well, yeah. Did you see the interview that happened recently?
No.
Where
Which one?
It was the one where he was talking to a black interviewer, and the guy says Denzel's son, and he's like, no, and he talks about his mom. He's like, Denzel and his mom's son. Like, put some respect on my
I didn't see that.
It was really good. He's like, put some respect on my mom's name. She had money before he had, but like, he's like, put some respect on my mom's name.
Yeah, that's been
and when he's berating him, he sounds like Denzel, which is really messed up.
That's the best part.
It's super messed up.
That's the thing. All I read was just like people have been saying, stop referring to him as Denzel's son. I'm sorry, buddy. You're gonna be referred to as Denzel's son, no matter
for sure.
what.
Just be glad they didn't name you Denzel Washington Jr.
Exactly. Like I know
At
it
least you
sucks
can-
as an actor. You want your own identity, but
like what he was saying in that interview, it was like put some respect on my mom too,
100,
which is pretty cool.
100. But I mean,
I think
end of the
Stedman
day-
by now is used to being called
Oprah's
boyfriend.
That's just what it is. Unfortunately, that's just the industry. People are always going to reference you to like Michael Douglas. I'm sure when he first started was known as Kirk Douglas's son.
Yeah.
But hey,
Bro,
one
for
day
sure.
you're going to surpass your father, and all the luck to you, Washington Jr.
John David.
John David. There you go. Thank you, JD Wash.
Yeah, there you go.
You'll do your thing, and we'll all be proud, and we'll be talking about
Well,
you.
remember, he was making fun of him. He was like, "Hey, Dad, did you see this Uncle Denzel stuff?"
Yeah. But that's my thing. Like, I'm happy, but right now, as you're starting out, your father is still one of the most famous black actors who has established. Still acting, yeah. Like, dude, you're working with Spike Lee. Your dad worked with Spike Lee on Malcolm. You got some
Mo
shit.
Better Blues, and
No,
also,
I know.
and also,
But I'm saying,
also,
like,
no, but he ain't,
the
he's not-
award-winning-
He's not Spike Lee to him. He's Uncle Spike.
Exactly.
Uncle Spike.
Exactly. So, like, that's a fucking good point right there.
He's Uncle Spike.
It's Uncle Spike,
Uncle
Like,
Spike.
let's not, like, I'm sure you still had to audition. Wink, wink. Like,
I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
Wink, wink. That's what I'm saying. Let's not pretend. You called it Uncle Spike.
Uncle Spike.
Exactly. Anyways, I think that's the title of the episode, Uncle Spike. I'll
Uncle
put a
Spike.
Spike Lee image. And then that's the whole show, guys. Thank you so much. Tobes, you want to tell the people anything?
Nothing to promote, man. Just be good, be kind, and do right.
I will promote this on your behalf. Do yoga. Dude,
Oh, yes.
yeah. I recommend
Everyone should.
Yeah, because I'm going to my yoga classes at my office in the next coming weeks because of your recommendation. I already did some of the stretches.
If you're over the age of like 25 and you've never really been good at stretching, I'm telling you, man, just go do it.
Yeah,
once a week, once every 2 weeks. Trust me, it's gonna suck for the first 3-4 classes. I guarantee it, but you'll be better off.
I remember what was really
that
funny.
fit, dude.
I remember what was really funny was I was watching an anime called Grappler Baki, and there's a part where someone puts him in a submission hold, and because he trained with yogis for so long, he's like, "Whatevs," and he just kind of gets out of it like nothing. He's like, you're just stretching me.
You won't get that level of flexibility.
It was messed up. It was like, he's like, this fight's over.
That's hilarious. Jazzy, hit the people.
All right, I am promoting Transformers Slag podcast, so the link is at Facebook. Just search for Transformers Slag, and also check YouTube for Transformers Slag podcast. Also, Geeking Out at the Tower podcast. The link is GOATTCAST.com. Also, catch me on Twitter, JAWZD.
That's it. That's all.
That's it.
All right,
guys.
y'all.
Catch me, Brian Holiday, on Instagram, BrianHolidae, and always hit us up on franklinarmstrong.com as the website. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/franklinarmstrong.com. If you guys want to hit up our Twitch channel, it's twitch.tv/franklinarmstrong.com. You can see past episodes. And Running with Wolves, most recent episode, is also up there. And if you guys want to follow us on social media, you can also get us on Twitter and on Instagram at @AStrongFranklin. And lastly, hit us up on Vero, where we're under Franklin Armstrong Collective.
Also, be safe to all the people in the Caribbean and parts
Trinidad.
of northern South America. They got hit with an earthquake. So
7.3 followed by a 5.9 or something.
Yeah, there was an aftershock after that. So be safe, everybody. Please check in. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's it. That's all, guys. Don't drink and drive. Always wear your gym and casco. Safe sex is good sex. We out. Peace, everybody.
Peace.